There's probably more money in the spray for weed game than there is the weed game. There's a lot of money in it. Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Wednesday morning, and we got a good day. Right around $850, something like that. I got a few. We got a few things outside of the norm, but yeah. We got good rain though. Everything is good and wet. It's 70 degrees, so that water's had time to just kind of sit on the lawns and let the grass and all the stuff heal up from all the dry weather that we've had. I think we're over the hump on the wet weather and the dry weather, and now it looks like we're going to be able to cut for the foreseeable future. So not quite as hot as it's been. I'm sure it's going to get in the 90s today, but maybe the humidity won't be as bad. We had a good day yesterday, about the same as today, though today's a little bit more expensive probably, not a lot. We worked about probably 5 hours yesterday, 4.5 hours, something like that. Not, you know, but we've been getting started a little bit earlier too than normal. You know, in the years past, we get started, you know, guys would be at my house at 8, but by the time we got started, it was always 9 or so. We're probably on average this year, we're probably getting started, actually getting to the jobs and everything, probably on average probably 45 minutes earlier than we normally would, because you know, when I have all them other guys out here, there's always some needed shit, right? I need a biscuit, I ain't got no money, can you go to the ATM, and you know, and all that. So and then on the other end of that, you know, I've been making sure that that truck's got fuel, that the mower stays fresh and topped off and all that. That's my job. That's just my job. So you know, it is what it is, right? But I'm gonna go down here. We got to go to Fayetteville, which is a pretty good bit of riding today. I got one that I was gonna go look at from one of the servers over here at the Mexican restaurant, but I went to the Google Earth image and the street side view, and I don't want to even do that yard. See, I can tell, I don't even have to go look at it. Well, number one, it's not hardly a yard. It's tiers going down a hill, and the driveway is probably 150 feet long, and it's downhill. And then in the yard, you know, coming up to the road, there's terraces, and everything is on a slope. Everything. And then when you take the Google image and you go to the other side of the street, they're even higher up. So what you got is and I didn't even have to go look at. I didn't even look at the backyard. I know the backyard is not going to be. It ain't like it just levels off in the back. So I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to text him and tell him that I just can't. It's not route friendly, and it's semi route friendly, but I'm not taking on no property where we're on terraces and stuff. Now, I guess if I didn't have any other work, I'd have to, but I'm gonna decline that one. When you got big mowers like I got, yeah, the last thing you need is, you know, 5-foot terraces and stuff where there's, you know, inner walls and all this stuff stepping down. And the whole lot is wooded. It looks like there's a lot of trees. I probably got 3 I'm gonna go ahead and do. Two of them are right next door to each other, so that's like one big one. And the other one is a small commercial that I do. It's real easy. And then we got another commercial that we're gonna do. Probably gonna have Toby meet me on that one. Well, I mean, really, when I think about how long it's gonna take us to do all this stuff, we ought to be done. We ought to be done by 12, really. But I couldn't put any more on the list, because if I do, I'm pulling from tomorrow. And when you start doing that, you start running into, well, now I don't have no work for Friday. So a lot of times I try to, when I start seeing it like this, and we knew we were going to run into this because of the drought and everything got a little screwed up. Not all the way screwed up, but a little. We can overcome it, but we just can't overcome it this week. Next week will be a lot better, be a lot more consistent, solid, because especially with the rain that we're getting, everybody and their mama's going to want to damn me to come. So what else I got? I really ain't got nothing else, man. We in the midst of the grind, y'all, and I'm starting to feel it. A lot of things tugging at me, every which way. But we're working and we're earning every day, so I ain't, but a lot more to what's going on out here than the actual work. This has been pretty easy as far as, the mental part of not having to worry about somebody coming to work and all that stuff. So it's really paying dividends. And today we could have done one truck, but there were 2 properties I didn't want to get hung up at. And so what I'll do is I'll spray a couple properties, and I'll make an additional $50 or $60 at least, and save time. And then I'll use that $50 or $60 for fuel today, when normally it would cost us maybe, $100 in fuel. I can do some spraying, and I can make up the fuel money real quick. At least that's the way I'll break it down. You put it however you want to put it, but I'm actually actually earning more money. Well, you had to pay for the spray, right? Yeah, but the spray lasts a long time, and you can make thousands. I said thousands of dollars before you run out of spray. I'm telling you, the weed game is strong, y'all. There's probably more money in the spray for weed game than there is the weed game. There's a lot of money in it. And not only a lot of money in it, but it saves a lot of time. That's the biggest factor out here, and I always talk about it every day, it seems like. The time. It's the only thing that, sometimes you gotta slow road it and let some more work come down the pipe. Like I got a tree job I need to go look at today, and what I'm doing is I'm hoping maybe it's a small tree job. And it's a perfect tree job. Well, it appears to be. I haven't looked at it. So the guy goes on next door. He says, I got 3 small trees that I need removed, and all the big companies are coming at him, right? And I'm seeing the comment, well, yeah, you can call Boss Tree Service. I work over at Boss, man. Well, we can do it, But then apparently they are not. Either the money part ain't where the owner wants it to be, or the timing. So then the owner's on next door, and he's saying in the ad next door, I don't really need a great big tree service out here because he knows they cost a lot. And he needs a little guy that can come cut a few trees off that are not big, even though I can do big stuff too. I can't make, it's hard for me to make money on multiple big tree jobs. Like, you know, like if the lady last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever, when I took those, when I took that great big pine tree down, well, you know, if she had 5 pine trees to take down, then obviously I wouldn't be able to do it. Well, number one, I would, well, she wouldn't be willing to pay. See, what happens with the bigger companies is the bigger companies can say, okay, we're going to charge you $5,000, we'll say, but they'll take 8 trees down for that. See, but if you only want 1 tree down, they're probably right around where I'm at because it costs them that much to get everything over there. So anything more than 1 tree on a big scale like that tree was, where you got to haul it out of there and all that. And if we're on a farm somewhere, I can do anything because I got skid steer and I got big chainsaws. And if I don't have what I need, I'll buy it. I mean, I've been in business a long time, y'all. Think about that. I have a lot of people, comments and just in public, they look at me and they look at the little business and they're like, damn, why ain't you done this? And why ain't you done that? Why ain't you done this? And why don't you have this? And why don't you have that? You need to go do this. You need to go buy that. Well, at the end of the day, that all sounds good, but pretend like I did do all that, or I didn't do all that, but I saved all the money to do all that. And that's basically what I've been doing. For years that I've been in business, for years, you know, with my health issues and all that, the labor problem, well, all it did was just make me rat hole the money that I would normally invest in the business. I would normally invest blah, blah dollars in the business or whatever, you know, to grow it. But I ain't been doing it because I never had reliable help until, well, pretty much until this year, really. I've had guys that, you know, semi-reliable, but nobody totally, you know, dedicated, right? Well, you ain't paying them enough to be dedicated. Yeah, I am. But that's been the problem. But keep in mind that the whole time I've been in business, I've been the same way with my money the whole time. It ain't like I was going backwards when I had all them J's out here working for me. When Bo was out here, I made money on Bo every day. When Zach was out here, I made money with Zach every day. And my spending habits are the same as they ever was. You know, it costs me a lot more of a headache to deal with those guys, and sometimes it would cost me dollars. But what it did do for sure is it made it where I didn't want to invest in the business to grow it. I would have to invest, obviously, to keep things going, but not to grow. Why would I do that? Why would I sign myself up for work, more money, more tools, when those guys were having a hard time doing what we had on the list right at that moment? So I'm just saying, it's been quite a ride the last 10 years or so. The first 5 or 6 years, it's figuring things out. And the first 5 or 6 years, I was pretty much solo. I would hire guys to help me. Y'all seen some of the videos where I've done, you know, trees and stuff like that before I really got deep into the lawn care, because I didn't have no money. And to do tree work, just, you know, country boy tree work, what I call it, where you drop a tree and drag it to the woods. You ain't got to have a lot of tools for that. I use a lawnmower and a chainsaw. That's all I need. So, but the whole time I've been in business, I've been the same with my spending habits. Of course, my spending habits have went up because the business expenses has went up. You know, skid steer, truck. But my business expenses hasn't gone up substantially or nothing compared to what I'm able to make. Like I got the skid steer paid up until September. You know, ideally I want to pay it off. You know, but that's not going to happen in the foreseeable future anyway. I got some other stuff I want to do this off season outside of the business, so I'm banking my money for some other stuff. So, but I'm not gonna, you know, go broke or nothing either way, because well, save my money, man. You know, I hate to keep saying that, but that's basically the truth. And there's 2 yards that it does not require 2 people. It's a waste of time to have 2 people there, and it's, you know, a 35-minute waste of time. Where if we had 1 truck, instead of us getting off before 1, it'd probably be after 2. But it would cost me a little less, maybe $20 less to run. That $20 there, and as long as nothing happens, if the other truck gets in a wreck or anything breaks down, then, you know, of course you'll wish you had left the other truck out. But all the yards that we're going to today, it has been 4 weeks. So they're all going to be getting pretty bad. And so that's why I didn't add any more to the list. So when you guys are pulling a trailer, right, with brakes, what setting do y'all have the gain on? I don't really know what setting to put it on. It usually has a lot to do with how much weight's on the trailer. Like for the long trailer, I'm on 3.5. For the skid steer, about, well, maybe 4.5 for the big landscape trailer, or the big equipment trailer. Got all the tire stuff taken care of yesterday. I mean, $300 or whatever. So for 2 freaking tires, man, come on, dude. I gotta get to it, y'all. I'm done. A small tree fell over there. I could have got it up today, but I couldn't get in touch with the owner, and well, I ain't gonna get it up and then try to get extra money out of them. We're gonna have to talk about it before I do it. And it's a small tree, but it's a tree, and it's laying down, and you can need a chainsaw to cut it. So I don't know, and I tried to call him and no answer. So I'm not gonna take a picture of it and send to him. And well, I took a picture of it and I will send it to him, but it'll be for the next rotation. It won't be, you know, like today. If he had said, you know, answer the phone and said, yeah, man, I'll give you $50, $40, whatever, you know, just to cut it and push it to the woods, then I would have done it. I would have made 1 cut on it. I'd have spent about 10 minutes on it, and I'd have made another $50. But that ain't the case, man. You know, you know, you got to know your customers, man, and know what their, you know, their thinking is, and how they roll, man. Some of the customers, like if it had been some other customers that I got, I would have went on and done it, and then just invoiced them, and they'd have been good with that. Whatever it takes to keep the property clean and neat looking. If it's a small price to pay for a company, commercial company, you know, to keep their grounds looking, well, not, you know, perfect, but manageable. I mean, I'm not going to win any homes and gardening awards or nothing, so, because that's not the kind of yards that I do, and I don't want to do those type of yards. A lot of people have come to me over the years and said, man, you just do a bunch of trashy yards. Okay, I mean, who cares? I mean, are you a better landscaper or lawn maintenance guy because you do petite little bitty lawns with a lot of you know, that are busy and have a lot of stuff growing all around the house? See, I had rather not, you know. I'd much rather cut, you know, middle-class lawns than, you know, 1 acre, 2 acre lawns. 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 1 acre, people that, well, I'd rather cut middle class lawns than lawns where people think they're up class, but really they're not. They're so cheap that they, you know, shortchange the lawn guy, but they living in a, you know, $1.5 million house, and their lawn is only 2,000 square feet or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with doing those yards. Those are money makers, but they're headache makers too. I don't need a headache maker. I need money makers. Sometimes, you know, you just fall into your lane, man. I didn't pick the lane. I'm just doing the lawns that people are calling me for, and I'm not doing the ones that are manicured, where people are real particular about everything. I don't like that. It's just not my strong suit. First thing you gotta know is what your strong suit is. But people have come at me over the years like I'm less than because I don't do a lot of manicured lawns. Well, all you do is trashy yards, dude. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, all the trashy yards pay, you know. I mean, they do. And there's probably more trashy yards than there are manicured yards in my area anyway. Most people, I don't say most, but, you know, if I had to guess, out of my customer base, that's the only thing I can speak to, 75% don't give a damn about the yard. All they want to do is just keep it down and keep it nice. And then if they have a party or something, they'll call me and they'll pay a little extra to do this or that or whatever. They just want to keep it cut and keep it, you know, keep it presentable. It doesn't have to be Better Homes and Gardening. I'll never win one of them awards for sure. But I'm pulling up to the next two, y'all. Deuces.